Hello and welcome to Padilla Palace Projects. I'm going to take you on a garden tour today. We've done a ton of things this week. My husband helped me finish everything up. Today, I have a few plants that I'm waiting to replant outside, but I wanted to show you guys all the progress. So here we go. So here's a quick overview of the space. And I'm going to take you right over here to start. So over here, I've got my Navajo Sunset. It's a slow start, but it's growing. And you can see one of the little ladybugs left from the 1500 we released the other day. We did move over the tomatillos over here. Now, what I did find out is that tomatillos can get about 6 feet tall, but they can also get like 6 feet wide. And the spot I originally had them in was not going to be able to accommodate them there. So I moved them over here. They are blooming, which we're super excited about. And tomatillos take 2 plants to pollinate and to grow. So I'm hoping that we get some good stuff off of that. Down here, I did plant into the ground some flowers. So I've got a zinnia down here. I've got a few things going on in the ground. This bucket, we have China rose radishes down the middle. And those are getting bigger. They're not quite ready to pull yet. But as soon as they're ready, those are coming out to give the pumpkins room. I have the Bloody Mary nasturtiums that'll be coming towards the front over here. And we have some Wando peas in the back. And then this is the Jahardal pumpkin back here. And then there is the Connecticut field squash, which is an orange pumpkin. Back here, this is our newest addition. This is our little trellis for pole beans. So what I went ahead and I had some extra raised bed dirt that I just put on the top down here. And I planted sunflowers on each side of this. I'm going to have tomatillos here and a tomato on the other side. And then down here against the fence, against this trellis, I have pole beans. I have the really long red noodle beans that are good for sauteing. And then I have the black-eyed peas, which are really mean. And then in front, I don't know if you can see it down here, but there's little garlics poking up. And I planted a whole head of garlic that had gone to sprouts. This will be where all the pumpkin gets to come across. I've been using the jars. I got to pick these up. I've been using the jars to cover my little seedlings that are in the ground. So my sunflower seedling, my zinnia seedling. I've been covering them all at night so that way the slugs don't get them. Okay, and this one we have the patty pan squash. It's still growing. The Jenny melon has not come up yet. I did go ahead and plant a backup inside to try to get that sprouted so it can be going. The pumpkins are going to be coming this direction and filling in all of this and then coming around the back side over there. The melons will be going down the back path over here. And so that's going to be a nice, big, full, lush area. The peppers, I have restarted all of my peppers. I planted them too early, which is my bad. It was an experimental thing, and they were growing fine, but now they've kind of stunted. You can see the jalapenos. I've got some weird curls going on here. They're still growing, but these are the mini bells. Like, you can tell they did not like the cold. So I'm just leaving these in here for right now, and I'll probably leave one of each pepper in there just to see the difference in what they produce between the ones that come out later and the ones that were put out in February. The onions are moving right along. I did trim a couple tops off of here and added them to a salad. These are some carrot seeds that I had. So as soon as those are done, I'm not replanting anything else in the middle. That was just to take that space for then. And we have some little radishes here that are almost ready to come out. Same thing with the bell peppers down here. One of them had been eaten, so I filled that whole thing with radishes. This one is still has a little bell pepper in it, but again, it hasn't grown much in the last couple of months and it was too cold, so I did restart that one. And there's only a couple of radishes left in here. The calendula has gotten very big. I went ahead and I pulled its partner out because it was going to be too much for that little pot. This pineapple sage is doing really well. I'm going to go ahead pretty soon here. I'm going to trim some and just to encourage it to bush. But this smells just like pineapple. It is amazing how much it smells like pineapple. I'm going to try a method here. If you notice the 3 spikes, I think it's called a Florida weave, and I'm going to try weaving the yellow pear tomato up here and trying that instead of a cage just to see if I like it or not. I also have some sage planted in here, and there's a couple of little carrots. They're baby carrots, little fingers, that I went ahead and I planted in there. And those will be out by the time that tomato is big enough to need it out of its way. The mountain mint. Oh my gosh. So starting mint from seed, I started these seeds in January and it is now the end of April. And I have not taken anything off. Oh no, I did take a piece off the top of this one. I took 2 leaves off the top of that one to test the scent. But this is a very strong, very yummy smelling mint. I cannot wait to make tea out of this. And I have a couple more over here. So I'm excited to watch these go. These radishes, I was just putting in here to fill in the spot because the mint takes forever. I was using every inch that I had for plants. So these will be out of here soon. But this mountain mint will fill out, start going crazy pretty soon. This is an onion. It's an experiment. We'll see what happens with that. Okay, so there's a calendula right here. And I took out its little partner. And I went ahead and I put that one in here. But I don't think it's going to make it. So I moved this today. And I don't think I took all of its roots. So I'm just going to... I have some other calendula inside. And that will be leaving us very soon. I got some new tomato seeds and this pot. I love this pot, guys. I got it at Home Depot and it was super cheap and it's super light. So in here, I am planting the Paul Robeson tomatoes. I mean, this will be the first time I'm growing most of these varieties, so I'll let you know what I think about them later on. But the Paul Robeson tomatoes are like smoky and sweet, so I'm really excited to try these. They're not in here yet. They probably won't be out here for a couple of weeks. But I also am trying a blue basil. Blue basil supposedly has some vanilla taste to it, and so I love basil, so I'm trying all kinds of different scents and varieties. I'm also going to be putting in a calendula into here for pest resistance purposes. That's a bicolor marigold down here, and it's doing really, really well. I'm hoping to see a bud pretty soon. This one right here looks like there's a bud inside, so I'm really excited to see a flower pretty soon. The Bonnie Best tomatoes are doing great. So I have 2 different sizes for some reason. I planted these at the same time. And the one on the right is doing way better. It's like way bigger than the one on the left. So I'm just letting them do their own thing. I'm taking care of them according to their own time and what's done. But I am doing the pruning of this one as it gets bigger. I'm going to be taking it all the way up to the first flowers, which is here. So I'm not going to prune obviously up to there yet, but I'm taking off all the suckers as they show because I don't want the suckers on here. And then eventually there will be nothing down at this portion of the tomato plant. And then I'm doing the same thing over here with this one. It's just at different phases. And then this has a borage in the back corner. And over here I have some basil if I get tomato hornworms. The borage is supposed to deter the tomato hornworms, and the basil is, they'll eat the basil first, which I like because then I'll know that they're there. And over here I have some cosmic purple carrots with a really cute little ladybug on the edge. We're going to see these randomly throughout. And then this container over here has cosmic purple carrots as well. These are further along. And when this is gone, I'm going to put another cherry tomato in here. It's a blueberry cream tomato. It looks really, really yummy. And in here, we've got tons of fun stuff going. The German chamomile is perking up. We've got a rhubarb back here, a dill that doesn't know if it wants to make it or not. Cilantro, I just took a ton of cilantro off of here. It's getting really wavy. And now I've never successfully grown cilantro before. So I'm really excited about this slow bolt variety. Because it seems to be doing okay, but I wanted to harvest it just in case it decided to go nuts on me. It does look like everything needs water. I didn't water at all today. I'm trying to let everything dry out good, and then I'm going to water in the morning. This is the oregano from last year. I've already taken a harvest off of this to dehydrate, and I was trying to make sure that I gave my seedlings a chance to grow. So I did try to do 4 plants from seed, and 2 survived. This one's obviously not getting as much sun or something as this one. So this back half will end up being one variety of oregano, and this front half will be another. I'm really excited though. I've been just coming out here and trimming it and sticking it on the dehydrator so I can increase our pantry supply. Over here, we have thyme. This is just regular English thyme. It is doing so well. Again, I started these from seed. Both the oregano seed and these I started indoors. But there's so much growth on these front ones. And then the back ones, I had some issues. The reason why there's foil back here is we have some neighborhood cats that were coming in here and laying in here. And I was actually finding their cat hair in here. And so I was trying to figure out what to do. And my aunt said to try the foil. So far, the first few days they were trying to move it out of the way. But now they seem to be leaving it alone. And so hopefully this time will take off. And then I planted a few radish in here just to fill in the space because the thyme takes longer. And these will be ready in a couple weeks. Up here we have all kinds of basil. I did get hit with aphids and frost in my basil. So as we're going through this, know that I am planting new stuff in here, and then I'm going to be trimming down anything that has the black on it. So dark purple opal. I got dark purple opal basil seeds for free from ordering with Baker Creek. Actually, quite a few things in here I got for free in my garden from ordering from them the seeds. But it's just a pretty basil. And so I went ahead and I'm like, I'm just going to grow it. It wasn't on my original plan. I will be trimming this pretty soon, I think, because that top is looking pretty bad. But this is the one that had the aphids. But when I got the ladybugs, they came in here and pretty much took care of it. There's one on there. They came through and wiped them out, though. Down here, you can see, let's see if it'll focus on it. This really cute little baby. There it is. Really cute little baby basils coming up. So I just direct seeded these. All these other ones started indoors and then came out, but these were direct seeded. I got another one where a snail took off the edges off of this, the extra leaves. So I'm seeing if this one survives or not. I have another little seedling right here. And then over here is the Emily basil. And those of you who don't know, my daughter's name is Emily. And I was really excited to try this. This variety, this one I had started later, like a month or so after these, because the one I had here had died from frost. So this is supposed to be a very compact variety. There's supposed to be less stem in between each set of leaves. So I'm really excited to have these. I have two here, and then I have these two are also Emily basil. This one got hit by the frost. I went ahead and I pulled off that leaf over on this side earlier today because it was really, I didn't want it to give the energy there. These four are Mamola basil. So again, all of these were started from seed and started indoors. This has definitely been a test of patience for me. But I'm really excited. Basil's one of my favorite things in the kitchen. And so I'm really excited to have these buckets of basil. I did just take apart my lettuce towers that I had, and I'm totally converting it into strawberry tower. Once this lettuce is done on the top, then I will get rid of that, and it will be strawberries all the way up and down. So I have the first two trays are strawberries from Home Depot. I think they're Sequoia strawberries. And then this third tray of strawberries, I have Tresca strawberries that I had started from seed from Baker Creek. And then the next tray down, there's only one seed that was able to go into there. So I have 4 total plants that are Tresca strawberries. And then I have some live plants coming in. And then I'm going to be planting a white variety. I'm starting the seeds tomorrow, I think. And they're supposed to be super sweet, even more that so than the red variety. So as these plants try to send off suckers, I'm gonna collect those suckers basically and try to get them into another bucket or into another spot. So I'm going to be getting creative here and trying to get those plants into something else, and I'll end up with a whole nother tub of strawberries. But sis, this is my strawberry tower. I'm also going to get, it's coming in, a round cart with wheels that this will sit on top of so I can spin it easily without toppling it and let the backside get some light too. Okay, and over here we have our little lavender lady. It's not doing any blooming. It still smells wonderful and it's bushing out a little bit. Over here we have the garlic that I planted about a month ago now. It is taking off. It's doing great. I'm planting my garlic out of season purely as an experimental thing. I know my cloves are going to be smaller, but I am trying it out and my garlic has sprouted, so I might as well do something with it. Back here we have lettuce leaf basil. I have never used lettuce leaf basil, so I am really excited about that. As you can tell, I have like a ton of varieties of basil. I just love basil in our house. I also have the red giant leaf mustard right here. I've got a butter crunch lettuce here, and I've got 2 chives right there. And over here is another butter crunch lettuce. These turnips should be done before that lettuce gets too big. And again, most of these, I've never grown these before, so I'm experimenting with them and we'll see how they do in the heat. If they bolt or they end up dying off, I'm okay with that. I have backup things that can go in here that will handle the heat. I am just kind of figuring things out in our area and growing from seed. I have some beets here. These are red beets. And then in here, I have the golden beets. I'm still waiting on a bush bean to pop up out of this. I have the Bloody Mary nasturtiums. And I had one extra garlic clove, so I put it in there. And then I'll show you this pot later when we go around. Down here I have breadseed poppies underneath the bench, and then the Bloody Mary nasturtiums. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. Oh, a drill boat fell off the bench. I was wondering where that went. Get that in a minute. My peppermint came back. If you watch an earlier video, this had gotten powdery mildew, and I was really worried that I was going to have to toss my peppermint, and I love mint. I've been cutting this off, and you can see where I just did one. Putting this, washing it off, and just sticking it in my water. It's very refreshing and cooling when you're working in the garden, and so I consistently use this. So what I did to try to save it is I cut all the way down to the bottom. I literally, everything was gone on this. There was just these little tiny little nubs sticking up, and I had sprinkled cinnamon down on it to help with the fungal aspect of it. And 2 weeks later, this is what we look like. And I'm super, super excited. And I've taken a few of the tops off over the last few days working out in the heat. And so peppermint is, any mint is really just super easy to thrive, and it smells so good. I'm like, I just want to snip my fingers with it. Okay, in here we have cucumbers. There's not a whole lot going on in here still. I've had to replant a few things. We had some frost that really damaged a couple things, so I've had to replant some of my peas. I have replanted corn. I've replanted a cucumber in here, so this is going to come along. I went ahead and I because I had these, I put these in here to help with the weight of the cucumbers, and then they can come up afterwards up onto this trellis, and then the pole beans will come up onto this trellis as well. And then last year, my cucumbers just kind of went over this whole bush. So we'll see. Whatever it needs, and we'll go with that. So this was a fun little project doing this trellis. But I think it's going to meet its purpose. Down here, we have a vegetable squash, and that was just recently eaten by a slug. Can you tell those things are my favorite things? Slugs and snails. So I did plant another seed in here that I'm hoping will pop up soon. I'm just waiting. I just did it the other day, so it should be a few days, and then it will pop up. My vegetable squash, I am training to come down here, and then it's going to go around the bush onto the other side, and give it that room to vine out. I am so excited. I had never grown lemon verbena before last year, and this is my lemon verbena plant, and I totally thought I had killed it. So I almost pulled this out of here, and I ended up doing some research, and I tore off one of the branches, and there was still green in it. So I said, I am just going to let it go, and I moved it out here into the sunniest spot and let it soak in that sun. And look at those pretty blooms. I am so excited. So this is great. We use lemon verbena all the time with our fish, the lemon verbena and the lemon thyme. These are a great combination, especially with fish on the barbecue. Like, we just absolutely love it. Wrap in foil, put a little bit of olive oil on it and some of these, and you are good to go. The lemon thyme, I find, blooms really fast, goes to seed. So I have been trimming this like crazy. This is actually triple the size I got it. And usually when it hits about this size, I have been harvesting it and dehydrating it just so I stay up on it, because I have the time right now to do it. And I'm encouraging it to bush out and get longer. So lemon thyme, if you've never grown it, you should grow it. It is amazing. I'm experimenting with a few things in the dirt. This is a dragon tongue bush bean here, and if I have to adjust the pots, I'll adjust the pots. But I'm going to see how it does just in the dirt here. And then I have French lavender, which I have been moving around a little bit. I had it over by my tomatoes to attract the pollinators. I'm trying to trim it up a little bit and turning it to get some growth on all the sides. So I'm making sure I'm trying to harvest it in a way that will get some good blooms over here, hopefully. This is my Slotty Land chamomile. And I'm debating taking one of those out of there or just letting it go with two and see how it does. We're going to see. I'm really excited about this flower though. It's a Polish version. It's not the German chamomile. So it's slightly different than the chamomile tea you get at the store, but it is delicious from what I understand. So I'm super stoked. Down here we have a couple of seedlings. So this is a sunflower that's going to get about 3 feet tall. It's considered a dwarf sunflower, but the head of the sunflower is still 10 inches across. So it's good. I'm really excited about that one. This one over here, this little baby right here, is a gray stripe. I think it's a gray stripe mammoth. I have to remember the name. Anyway, this one gets about 10 feet tall. And this is what I have planted over on the side of the trellises as well. So I'm really excited to see these. And these heads are humongous. So we should have a ton of sunflower seeds. Even if the birds attack them, we should have some. And I have a few more of these that I'm waiting to sprout, the 3-foot ones. I'm waiting for those to sprout. And I am probably going to put them on this side of the walkway over here. Okay, so if we come down this path, this is the last tiny section of the garden, but it is not the least beautiful. I guarantee you this section is going to be gorgeous. So here I have some radishes down the middle of this pot, and I did that purposely again to take advantage of the space for the time that I had them. And if I need to pull them early, I will pull them early. But I had put bush bean seeds in here, and I have 2 different types of bush beans in here. I have one that's a regular green, and then I have a pink and yellow one. So we have a couple of beans coming up here right now, but I should have 2 more coming up on the side here. And I should have 4 on this side popping up. My bush beans just seem to be taking longer. This wheelbarrow has the breadseed poppies in it, so it'll be bright and purple and beautiful. And then I'll be able to collect the seeds for baking. This is another Slotty Land chamomile. That's a bicolored marigold like the one over by the tomatoes. It's a lemon bee balm. And this one is a lemon balm, and this is kind of really hard to grow from seed. It takes forever, so we'll see how big it gets this year. It's kind of like mint in its speed, so I'm just holding my breath with it, hoping that I get some to harvest, but I'm excited for it for teas. And then under this tray I have spinach, which doesn't seem to be doing well. It's either because it's here or because it's been warm enough that it doesn't like me right now. So this may end up changing all the strawberries with the runners. And then there's some baby zinnias over here. I'm trying to decide where I'm going to plug them in. And that is our garden right now. We've had a ton of projects, a lot of change happening. I have transferred some stuff, started some stuff indoors. So I'm trying lettuces and cabbages and a Swiss chard and some cilantro in jars inside. So my next video, I will make sure I capture what is going on with that on the indoors. I'm changing up that area right now, so I wasn't going to record it right now. So make sure you tune in for the next video. Subscribe so you have that notification when I post it. I also am going to be posting a video that shows us releasing the ladybugs. It'll be a short video, but it was fun doing it at night with temperatures and so forth. So pay attention for that. And if you have any questions about any of the varieties of what I'm growing, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer what I can for you. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you soon.